Welcome or welcome back to the Film and TV channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And today we're going to look at, quite a big film. Not the big budgets these days. I think COVID's affected what these studios are spending on budgets, which can't be a bad thing, can it, to be honest with you? We're going to have a look at Nightmare Alley today, a 15 certificate, of course. Please, if you are new to the channel or you've been with me a while, you notice we're now monetized, so if you can follow any of the links or watch any of the ads, it helps the channel going forward. And of course my other channel as well on my football team, Manchester City. Just if you can do that for me, there's always something. Sometimes there's something I sort of skip most of the stuff, like you probably will, but occasionally there's something that takes my eye and I have a watch or follow the link. So if you can do that, it will help the channel. All thumbs ups, much appreciated. If you can do that, guys, that'd be great. And press that notification button. Tell your friends about it. Say we do film reviews and information vlogs on films and DVD, what's out to buy, etc, etc. Right, let's have a look at this Nightmare Alley 15 certificate. 150 minutes, yes, very long, 2.5 hours, which I can live with if it's a great film. $60 million budget, so yes, so not overly expensive on the basis of films in the past, that's for sure. So it's an interesting trend, isn't it? The price coming down. In fact, some of the animated, I think there's was it Sing 2? Obviously, I think that cost a lot more than this. I mean, some of the animated films are costing far more than the actual real life films, if you like. This is a neo-noir psychological thriller directed by Guillermo del Toro, of course, from a screenplay by Del Toro and Kim Morgan, based on the 1946 novel, and of course an adaptation, the second adaptation of the novel, Gresham's novel, following the 1947 film version, of course, which I used to sell quite a lot of copies of. The film stars Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, Toni Collette, Willem Dafoe, Richard Jenkins, Rooney Mara, Ron Perlman, Mary Steenburgen and David Strathairn. It's a great cast, absolutely superb cast. What's it about? Well, here we go. When charismatic, but down on his luck, that's their words, not mine, but down on his luck, Stanton Carlyle, or Stan, played by Bradley Cooper, of course, endears himself to clairvoyant Xena, played by Toni Collette, and her has-been mentalist husband, Pete, played by David Strathairn. At a travelling carnival, he crafts a golden ticket to success, of course he does, using this newly acquired knowledge to grift the wealthy elite of 1940s New York society, with the virtuous Molly, played by Rooney Mara, loyally by his side. Stanton plots to con a dangerous tycoon, Richard Jenkins, with the aid of mysterious psychiatrist, played by the wonderful Kate Blanchett, of course, who might be his most formidable opponent yet. So there you go. Got quite an interesting story, quite a packed novel, or certainly a packed film as well, by the looks of it. So 2.5 hours, probably fair enough, isn't it? Do you think? Well, we'll see, won't we? What does anyone think about it? Are all these scores? This is at the 24th of January at 6 p.m. UK time. Rotten Tomatoes, 7.5 out of 10, 230 fresh and just 58 rotten, with an 80% positivity. The critics' consensus, while it may not hit quite as hard as the original, the 47 one, Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley is a modern noir thriller with a pleasantly pulpy spin. Okay, the audience, not quite as impressed and not quite as convinced as the critics. 68% positivity, 3.6 out of 5. So that still equates to 7.2 out of 10. So that's not too bad. The audience consensus, stylish but slow. Nightmare Alley pays off with a powerful ending if you can hang on long enough to make it. That is, okay, good point. Metacritic, the other critic site, 53 critics, 69%. Okay, again, not brilliant, but very good. And it scores anywhere between 42 and 90 out of 100. And 36 were positive on this, 17 were mixed, and there was no negative, so that's good. That's a good sign. A couple of the critics, the Raps Alonso Duralde, he only gave it 55 out of 100. He said, from a rain-soaked carnival midway to a glossy art deco therapist's office, everything in Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley looks gorgeous. There just doesn't seem to be a lot going on under the art direction. Okay, that's a sort of a lower score. A good score, Leah Greenblatt, 75 from Entertainment Weekly. She gave it 75 out of 100 and said, beautiful looking film with an oddly forgettable one. Maybe because borrowed material is no match for the ingenious creations of Del Toro's own mind. I'd have to agree with that one. And yes, Variety's Peter de Brugger, he really loved this. He gave it 90 out of 100 and said, a gorgeous, fantastically sinister moral fable about the cruel predictability of human nature and the way entire systems, from carnies and con men to shrinks and Sunday preachers, are engineered to exploit it. Yeah, there we go. He enjoyed it. The audience, about the Metacritic audience, 7.3 out of 10. Not bad. 47, 35 positive, 11 mixed, and just 1 negative. So again, all good. There's nothing too bad, is there? Internet Movie Database. This is it. Joe Public, the guys who went to the cinema, paid over the cash to watch this film. 7.4 out of 10. Excellent. If you look at the positivity on that, of the scores between 6 and 9, I do ignore the 10 out of 10s and 1 out of 10s, as you know, or try to, where it's meaningful, where there's a lot of them, which there is for this one. 9,044 people scored it or rated it or reviewed it and give it between 6 out of 10 and 9 out of 10. That's quite high, and only 996, or less than 1,000, scored it anywhere between 2 and 5 out of 10. So a 92% positivity. So it does bode well. What about my little thoughts on it? I am going to go back and watch the original now. I have watched the original many years ago, but even though I've sold it, as I say, you see a bunch of DVDs there, even though I've sold it to customers over the past few years, it's not something I've gone back and watched. So I'm going to watch it again based on this. It's certainly not put me off watching it again, that's for sure. I just thought this would be darker and a little bit more sinister than it was, given the intriguing plot, which it is. I know it's an intriguing plot and the psychological thriller element. And of course, add to that the addition of Del Toro. And obviously, I thought it would be a little bit darker and more sinister, but Del Toro seems to appear to have softened his stance on this one. His edginess has sort of gone, the darkness has sort of gone, that I'm so used to with Del Toro, with his own stuff. Of course, he's obviously adapting this, and perhaps he's paying homage to the original a little bit. But I think I wouldn't mind a little bit more of his own spin on it, and I don't think there was that, to be honest with you. There was certainly enough story to fill 2.5 hours, but it was actually, for me, a little slow in parts. Yeah, it just felt long. It was, and someone said, wasn't it, stylish but slow, said the Rotten Tomato audience, and that is pretty apt description for me. Great acting talent, but then again, I was never totally drawn in and invested in the lead, which doesn't help. Stan, of course, played by Bradley Cooper. I mean, he's central to the whole story, and I wasn't overly convinced with him, so it did really affect my view of the film overall, which is a shame. I enjoyed the carnival scenes at the start, but then it got all a little bit wishy-washy for me in the middle part, but it does come back alive again with the finale. But again, as I said earlier, that's if you've stuck with it. I know some people struggled looking at some of the reviews. It's okay. There's a lot of people won't like it. It won't be everyone's cup of tea. This sort of noir stuff, is it? Let's be honest about it. And if you watch similar things, that sort of noir things in the past, and you don't like them, you're not going to like this. It's very much the same. For me, just about watchable. I'll be honest with you. I was a bit disappointed. I liked the presentation of it. I just didn't think the content was up to scratch. And for me, as what we saw on screen, it was about 45 minutes too long as well. But yet, it could have been quite capable of being entertaining for the full 2.5 hours, but it just wasn't for me. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, which is just my basic watchable score, which is lower than everybody else. So, you know, perhaps I'm in the wrong. I'm in the minority, of course I am, and there's obviously a lot of people prefer it to me. But let me know what you think, guys. I think this is watchable, but nothing more. I'm not going to rave over it, and I certainly won't rush to go back and watch it again. But I will rush to go back and watch the 1947 one again, just to compare and sort of satisfy myself that was a pretty good film compared to this. I just expected something a bit darker, as I said, from Del Toro, a little bit more harrowing perhaps as well, a little bit more playing on the senses than we got with this. So we'll say 6 out of 10 is my score, which is okay. It's a watchable score. And so I'm not going to say I've wasted 2.5 hours, but I wouldn't mind wasting 1 hour 45 minutes on it or something like that. But there you go. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To me here again on the Film and TV channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.